Hey, what's up, YouTube? You already know I'm AllCity with AllCityLiveTV.com, and thank you for tuning in. I wanted to get some things out the way really quick, some frequently asked questions out the way, keep you guys informed before we get into whether or not 2K22 is going to be a copy and paste game this year. There's a lot of questions out there. I was live yesterday, and people just had a ton of questions wondering what 2K22 is going to be like. But before we get into that, let's talk about the release date. Release date September 10th. When do the servers go live? The servers go live September 9th at 8 a.m. because that's the first time that people across the world will have access to the actual game and be able to play it. It says here September 9th, 8 a.m. at the latest. Same time the first people in the world can officially acquire the game. Early tip-off access, as you guys can see right here, early tip-off access. There is no early tip-off access this year with NBA 2K22. Let's get into whether or not 2K22 is actually going to be a copy and paste game. There are some indicators that say 2K22 may be a copy and paste game because, you know, they're so like limited with the amount of information. This is common. If you guys don't know, if you guys are like a little worried and anxious about what your experience is going to be like on NBA 2K22 because you're not getting a bunch of information, this is what 2K does. They do not give out a lot of information before the release date. And, you know, you would think that being that we had the experience of 2K21, that they'd be more inclined to share more information to get us a little bit like excited and have us anticipating the release of 2K22. But 2K is still on the same business tactic and the same marketing approach. You got to understand that 2K's marketing approach has never failed them. So they like, if it's not broke, we're not going to change it. People are still going to buy the game. They're still breaking records, breaking like sales records out there. So there's really no reason for 2K to change the formula around. So don't like despair though, because this is not to say that 2K is definitely going to be a copy and paste game. We don't know that just yet. There are some indicators like not giving us like any type of information and not releasing like what you call it, like a prelude or a demo for us to play. So, you know, people get worried about that, especially people were like heavily anticipating a demo or some early access. So that way they could kind of get into the game and see what it's about and hopefully, you know, see a change in 2K. I don't know if you guys think there's going to be a change. Let me know in the comment section below. When I was live, we go live almost every single day. So if you guys would like to join us on our live stream so we could talk some more about 2K, please come on through. Also, if you're interested, like in 2K information or you want to stay up to date on NBA 2K22 news, join us in the Discord. Our Discord is an awesome community of players, pulling up on 4,000 players. If you're looking for players to run with, you're tired of running with randoms, come join us in our Discord to stay up to date on 2K22 news and find players to run with for 2K21 and 2K22. Whether or not it's going to be a copy and paste, that remains to be seen. Those indicators on whether it like is going to be, we know we're going to get the city. We don't know what the city is going to look like per se, but I could almost guarantee that the city is going to look almost exactly the same. In my personal opinion, I think they need to fill these voids in. Like where the city is empty and there's not much going on and you're walking through these like empty alleyways and there's not many people. Some people saying like they need to put 1,000 people in the server. And I'm like, man, you can't, 2K can't handle no 1,000 people on the server. They could barely handle 100 with some screen showing some information or a billboard that's changing animations. They can't handle that. So I can't imagine 2K putting on like 1,000 people in the server. It would be amazing for us to have more people in the server, but that's just more players dancing for no reason. So I want to see more gameplay, man. I don't want to wait for a game. They should consider changing things like this. I don't know. I think 2K approached 2K21 just a little bit wrong. Reintroducing affiliations, for instance. We were talking about this yesterday on the live stream. And again, if you guys want to get in on the conversation and create some dialogue about 2K22, join us on our live stream today. We will be going live today. So put on those notifications, subscribe to the channel. We're on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So come on out. We'd love to have you. So we could talk some more about 2K22. But there's like, you know, when they introduced affiliations, it's like why penalize us for going to play on like a rival affiliations court? Me and Jay Easy were talking about this early in the year. It doesn't make sense to kind of discourage people from going to play on another affiliations court. People did it anyway because the gameplay was so like, it was hard to play 2K21. So people were going anyway because some courts were like functioning better than others. I guess they didn't have like the billboards in the background or Ticino getting on the mic in the background in the early days of 2K21. So they didn't have that in certain courts, or like you would get on one court that had maybe two screens in the background of the court, and that court would actually be way more choppy than another court. And I think these are things that 2K really needs to address. They were able to address it like closer to mid-year with like shutting off the billboards per se, so they don't have like videos playing in the background. But it took them a long while to address the choppiness, too long a while, especially when 2K was one of the only games to kind of represent what next gen games had to offer, or what next gen gaming was supposed to be like. So it was bad to see like all of that choppiness. And 2K says that they're not releasing a demo because they want to make sure that they have a functional game at release date. And I could appreciate that idea and concept, but do we really trust 2K to uphold their end of the bargain? And I think that's where like the buck stops. We got to see, and it's really just a waiting game to see whether or not 2K is going to uphold their end of the bargain. 2K is known before release to say things like all willy-nilly and then give you a product that doesn't even represent anything they said. And I think last year kind of took the cake because they went out their way to create these courtside reports, and as I like to call them here on the channel, these marketing reports that say the gameplay is going to be a particular way, and it turns out to be something totally different. They address canned animations in the courtside reports before 2K21, acknowledging, and I want to remind you guys about this, they completely acknowledged that in previous versions prior to 2K, previous versions of prior to 2K21, in previous versions of 2K, that they took control of your player, and they acknowledged that aspect of it in 2K21's courtside reports, and they said that for 2K21, they are no longer going to take control of your player by limiting the amount of canned animations. And like no other release of 2K have I ever seen so many canned animations. So 2K21 takes the cake with canned animations, and you players out there losing control of your players. So you're like, man, you want to get out there and feel like you're in control, and then 2K takes like, tell me if you guys have ever experienced this, where somebody's driving, because we know that driving to the paint was just super overpowered this year. Like contact dunks were absolutely ridiculous. But have you ever experienced like the insanity out there where you're not even in the animation, you're not even defending the player that's driving to the rack, and 2K somehow just like takes your player and just forces them into a canned animation where you're trying to guard the 3-point line in the opposite corner of the drive, and then 2K will just launch you into a canned like contact dunk animation. Well, that's happened all too often where you lose control of your player. And what I mean by that, if you guys don't know, is like an offensive player would trigger a move, whether it's a dribble move or a drive to the basket, and your player gets stuck in an animation, whether he's stuck in the mud, whether he's frozen, whether he's forced a particular direction, whether you get an ankle breaker, or whether you get pulled into a contact dunk animation. It just doesn't feel right. So we're back on 2K21. We were live streaming it yesterday, and we had a pretty decent time. And I'm back on 2K21 because I want to really get a good feel of what 21 is offering us, so that way I can make a better assessment on 2K22 when it releases. So you guys stay tuned to the channel because I'm definitely going to keep you guys up to date. Is 2K22 going to be a copy and paste? I just hope not. If you guys found this video helpful and or informative, please consider dropping a like on the video. We're going to drop a ton more content on 2K22. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.